Okay. Actually, we use the term prayer to mean a lot of different things that aren't the usual meaning of prayer. Okay. So for example, you know, I have daily commitments that I do every day. So I often say, I'm doing my prayers. I'm not doing prayers. I'm doing my commitments, you know, which, you know, have recitations in them and so on, and generating different ways of thinking. But I'm not doing what in English the word prayer means, okay? Because in English, the word prayer is usually there's somebody else who has some power and I'm asking them for favors. Well, isn't it? Yeah, you pray to whoever you're praying to. May the crops be good, you know, may my kids be successful, may my business go well, you know, like I was talking about before. But Buddhist prayer, some Buddhist prayers are like that, you know, for worldly aims, but more often Buddhist prayers are what we call prayers that aren't really prayers, they're aspirations. What we're doing, they're often put in the words of saying, please bless me to realize that. I don't use the word bless. I think the word bless is too Christian and it gives the wrong impression. But even, you know, please Buddha, yeah, some of the verses are like, inspire me to realize the preciousness of my life, inspire me to understand death and impermanence and not waste my time, inspire me to overcome my anger and have an open heart towards all living beings. Okay, so there are more aspirations, us putting in words the qualities we want to develop. So they're written in the form of we're asking the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for help, you know, and yes, they can inspire us in that way. But I think what's also going on is we are putting in words our own deepest wishes and aspirations, which is important for us. So we're clear in our mind what we aspire for. Okay? So I think prayer is much more of a psychological thing to help us get in touch with especially our spiritual yearning, our spiritual aims. You know, what role does it play? It depends who you talk to, because Buddhism has a wide variety of practitioners. So some people use it for their daily life practice because it makes them feel good, like, you know, there's somebody unseen who has compassion, who's on their side and can help. And that gives them some comfort, yeah. Other people, it makes, you know, because you can see the deity also as the Buddha that you're going to become. So if you pray to the Buddha, you're praying to the deity. Another way to see them is this is the future that I want to be. So it's also a way of communicating with the future you, how you, how the person that you want to be, and you're communicating in some way, you know, and that helps you become like that. Okay? But this thing, you know, about, you know, can the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas really help? Yes, they can, but we have to have the karma to be receptive to their help. okay? Because they say, I mean, the Buddhas are so compassionate that if they could liberate everybody, if they had that power, boom, they would do it in an instant. Well, they are all compassionate. Well, how come they haven't liberated everybody? Because we aren't receptive to their energy. We're very obscured by our negative karma, by our afflictions, and so on. And so, you know, if we have the karma, then the requesting prayers really work. But you know, everybody has their own needs, and I don't want to criticize anybody's needs or how they use the Dharma. So some people, you know, they need the idea of somebody external to help, you know. Other people are much more internal, and when they're doing some of these aspirational prayers or dedication prayers, what they're doing is really reaffirming to themselves what's important, so that they will put their energy in that direction to make that come about. Yeah.